Hey, good people. I'm Jason Valcourt, and I'm going to share another part of the Jim Croce story. And particularly this first sentence is for any songwriters that are out there. This is the point where Jim's life trajectory and career starts to shift into overdrive, where he actually got success and recognition, and put out the songs that we all primarily know and love from him. But here in this segment here, it says, in spring 1972, ABC Dunhill released You Don't Mess Around with Jim, 9 months after it had been recorded. I just want to stop there because 9 months after it's been recorded, that is a long time. Especially as a songwriter, I think, 9 months after you recorded the songs, they're kind of old in a way as a songwriter. Nobody's heard them yet, really. But as a songwriter, you've probably written a handful of other songs that you're very excited about and feel like are your most and best songs, maybe. But 9 months later, the album's released. Also, by the time you've put together those songs, you've been playing them for a year or something like that, So they're a little bit aged, and maybe because he played so often, which maybe I haven't mentioned, he played many nights a week, regular gigs, and probably road tested a lot of these songs and honed them in. But yeah, 9 months after it was recorded, it was released in the spring of 1972. Then it continues. Maddie Singer, an ABC Dunhill sales representative, fell in love with Jim's music. Determined to get the album on the air, he personally visited every radio station in Philadelphia and the rest of his region. "You've got to play Jim Croce," he would tell them. "The guy's the best. And he's just as nice as he is talented. Play Croce. You have to play Croce." And they did. Within 4 weeks, You Don't Mess Around with Jim became a hit single, and the album began receiving positive reviews in newspapers and magazines across the country. "Jesus," said Maury as they packed for their tour, "years of work, and in one short month, you're an overnight success." Jim read the reviews that began pouring in, stunned and not quite able to believe what was happening. In June, they debuted in New York City to promote the new LP with shows at the Bitter End and the Persian Room. The leading national music magazine, Cashbox, reviewed Jim's show. The following week, he excitedly read the article to me over the phone. Jim Croce didn't mess around, combining a Bill Cosby-esque patter with a firm hand on his acoustic guitar and a sweet, mean voice. He is certainly sure of where he wants to go and gets there. The album's title tune and also his new single is an example of a song in which characters are introduced, described, and fully developed, and all in under 3 minutes. Jim really gives you what you can't get in too many other places. Croce is ably assisted by guitarist Maury Muleson, whose licks flow like spring water, making Jim's tunes all the more refreshing and welcome. "And Ing," he continued in a rush, "the June 10 Billboard chose the album as a special merit pick. God, Ing, it's just what we've been waiting for. I guess it just takes one." After his debut in New York, he opened at the Main Point for Randy Newman. On Friday, June 16th, the Evening Bulletin announced, "If Croce's guitar strings ever break, he can ride on his mouth." While Croce's songs are witty, telling, and above all intelligent, his between-song patter is as funny, make that funnier than most stand-up comics. Back home, I clipped out the review. "I hope you remember your dad," he said quietly, looking over at Adrian James in his playpen. "I have a feeling he'll be on the road a long time." That doesn't make sense, but... So he, at this point, is just starting on this trajectory of stardom that became, extremely rapid and really intense for the next year of his life, year of their lives, year and a half. And really just continually accelerates and accelerates and accelerates. And, one of the things I didn't really expect in my understanding of Jim before reading this book was how stardom really got to him, changed him, and not for the better. And in this book, it's revealed through Ingrid, in her stories of basically, being at home while Jim's star really took off, which she totally supported and got behind as, her life's, work in a way. She really supported and saw his songwriting greatness. And she also had to bear the burden of him transforming and changing. And the story really takes a turn into, his infidelity and just really stardom, influencing him and changing who he was, so that he actually felt like he lived a dual life in a way. And the latter part of this book really is heavy with that, the dichotomy of his road life versus his home life. And they were threatening to clash more often than not. And Ingrid, she bared with him, even though it was excruciatingly difficult to deal with him and work with him. And he was not nice to her when he was around. He was moody and not helpful, which, I think for me personally, that's, a little sadness there a little crack in the fissure of Jim Croce's history in my own mind, to know that he was, so influenced and acted so poorly. And it's really expressed in this book pretty directly. So it's a very direct expression of her experience of his behavior. Of course, we can't speak for Jim. She can't either, but hearing her side of the story is pretty painful. It's pretty painful, and I don't want to say it's diminishing the songwriting for me personally, because it really can't, but it emphasizes some of the pain in some of the sadder songs, because he was really kind of getting disturbed, I suppose, and just as revealed in the book, he was really heavily reliant on pills, prescription drugs. She says here at some point to get him out of bed in the morning and to get him to sleep. And so that was, probably not a healthy influence on his well-being by any stretch. And some of those songs come from this really deep pain that he was feeling. And Lover's Cross seems to come out of that. Lover's Cross, and there's the other one that she says he wrote in the same night. Something I really like about the progression of his recording, or his creative process, was that he recorded a ton of stuff. He recorded all the time. And so she actually still has the records of these recordings from him, where he'd just sketch something out and just capture it and, put it away or come back to it. And yeah, so she has this actual record, of the bits and pieces as the songs formed. I think that's fantastic. She kept it all. She kept it all. clippings, notebooks, recordings, and he really documented a lot, which I think is fantastic. And the documentation is the basis of this book. So they had a lot of reference material to put it together. Although I've done my own, some other snooping around online and read some more articles and other sources of information of his life and some of her dates. They challenge some of the dates and some of the details inside the book. So I take all of it with a grain of salt. There's some creative license she took maybe in some of these parts, but I actually don't mind that. The point gets across, and yeah. So at this point, his star is rising, and things really start to turn and get rough for them, and you can really feel the pain of it. But yeah, so hope you enjoyed that, and I'll bring some more out as I find more. So take care, stay kind.